Today on the channel, we go shopping once again to the WWE Shop Zone with Jakks Class Superstars 2-pack WWE Shop exclusives. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we continue our weekly Jakks Class Superstars deep dives. With today, we're taking a look at the Jakks Class Superstars WWE Shop exclusive 2-packs. Talk about a mouthful there, but every week, every Tuesday on this channel, we run down a new Jakks Class Superstars set. We've been doing it for over a year now, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. You too can be a Jakks Class Superstars expert. Tell a friend while you're at it. There you go. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. And then today, like I said, we're going to jump in to the shop. So let's get after it. We got 3 to talk about. Let's not waste any time. Let's take a look. And we're going to start with a heavy hitter 2-pack. We're going to start with Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin 2-pack, representing their epic WrestleMania match back in the day. Now, one thing about all 3 of these sets we're going to talk about, these came out in 2009 via the WWE Shop, as I said. 2010 is when Mattel took over the license. Dying days of Jakks right here. Lots of reuse, and the interesting thing about these 3 packs is I've never officially seen this set anywhere, but I think especially at the time, a lot of us understood and kind of saw through the lines a little bit, or read between the lines, whatever you want to call it. I believe these were earmarked to be Toys R Us 2-pack sets, but time was running out. They weren't buying. You just got to think, put on your old business hat. If you're running out and you're going to be stopping making a line of action figures like Jakks was for the WWE, you're not going to invest a whole lot of money on the dying days that last year. And you know, these companies know, and I work with this, I do contracts that go for 5 years a lot of times, other contracts I've done and stuff. You know, when the contract's nearing, it's not like it's just the last week or the last month of the year you start the negotiations. In my case, I've started 2 years out on negotiations, and it ages you. I'll tell you what, these negotiations are tough. They are stressful. When you're talking billions of dollars over time, and that's truly, you know, what I do, what Mattel would do, what Jakks would do. You're talking big time money, and there's a lot on the line. There's a lot on your head on the chopping block to get this through, to make this deal get signed after all is said and done. Stressful times. Well, I can tell you what, Jakks, I don't remember exactly when we found out we lost the license. I want to say it was fall of 2009 is when we officially knew. Maybe even October or so. That's what my mind says. I could be wrong on that. If somebody knows, put it in there. But I bet you Jakks knew it was going south at the beginning of the year. They knew quite a while in advance. That's usually how those things kind of go, because toys aren't just made overnight. They're going to be producing. You know, it takes about 6 months to a year to produce a figure. They got an idea of what's going on. They're not just going through the motions making stuff. So these were originally earmarked for Toys R Us, I believe. They had these made. Toys R Us knew they were losing the license. They didn't want that extra inventory. They wanted to make space for Mattel coming soon, of course. And they probably had a lot of Jakks hanging on the pegs that they had to sell through. So they weren't going to order any more product. And then as of 12/31, 2009, you couldn't buy any more Jakks in. Whatever was on the pegs was on the pegs. That's the way it operated. So they got these, and I think they had these all ready to go, and they said, hey, we could put them through WWE Shop. That's an avenue to sell these to the consumer out there that works. So long story short, that is the way I view, and I think that's how it went, and I'm pretty sure that's probably right. But if somebody knows different, feel free to leave it down in the comments, let us know. But some heavy hitter packs here that I like a lot, and we'll talk about each one as we always do. But we're going to start with the Stone Cold Shawn Michaels from the WrestleMania match. Very cool. A lot of reuse here, though. This Stone Cold Steve Austin, we saw a little bit a few times, but they added this soft, good leather vest to this one. And we also saw that in a video we'll do in the future about things that weren't technically classic, but felt like they should have been a part of classics. WWE Shop exclusive once again. Basically a direct re-release from this. And then this Shawn Michaels, we've seen this head sculpt so many times, especially in the Ringside Fest exclusives. Once again, we're going to get to those videos here in the next couple of weeks. We'll start working through Ringside collectible exclusives. So very interesting, but a lot of reuse here, a lot put together. And then you get the 2 boxing gloves. And a lot of people were always confused. What is that? What are those black things in there? Well, it's the boxing gloves. You know, Mike Tyson, the referee, all that kind of stuff. They do look a heck of a lot like the Jake the Snake Rick Martel 2-pack with the hoods. It looks like the same reuse from that almost. So it's funny, getting the most out of everything you got there. You got the World Heavyweight title there. And one thing I really do like on the bottom here is the sticker that says WWE Shop Exclusive. An easy touch. You can make these stickers later and just stick them on. So I always thought that was a cool touch. That's how I always remember these too. And I remember just being surprised one day. I don't know how I found out about them. Maybe it was WrestleFig's forum or something, or I was on WWE Shop or whatever. But I saw these up there and it was just a huge surprise. Same with all three of these packs. I was just kind of taken aback. Oh my gosh, I got to order these. And I will say, you guys know primarily I ordered a lot of my Classic Superstars via Ringside Collectibles back in the day, and I never really had any issues. I think I only had one issue with being damaged packaging, stuff like that. But WWE Shop, on the other hand, I had a lot of issues, and I had to send back a couple of these sets. I'm trying to remember which ones of the three, but I think it was the Undertaker Triple H, which we'll get to. I had to send back a couple of times because they were so beat up, so damaged. And I was a min-on-box collector, still am for the classics, so I needed to send them back to get my replacements. And that was a little bit frustrating. So I was taking that for granted from Ringside back in the day. I wasn't getting damaged stuff, and Shop Zone was just atrocious. But they weren't in the action figure game, so there you go. But typical Classic Superstars pack we've seen before. I love that they used this packaging style instead of box sets. That's why I said this was probably earmarked for a Toys R Us along the way. It just didn't end up happening. But we know about the packaging. We've seen it before. You got their names on the side right there as usual. Two little glamour shots going on the other side. And then, of course, the back. We'll read the tail of the tape on Michaels. We'll read the tail of the tape on Austin. Promoting some of the other two packs out there. Very interesting. Very interesting how this all went down at the end. And let's see what it says about Stone Cold. 252 pounds, 6'2", finishing move, Stone Cold Stunner. No blurb, no nothing, bare minimum at the end here. Shawn Michaels, 225, 6'1", finishing move, the Sweet Chin Music. And like I said, from 2009 here. But an interesting pack. A pretty awesome pack, actually, though. I talk about a moment in time. Talk about a Classic Superstars pack. Austin, HBK, the rise of Stone Cold. A pretty solid two-pack, I think we'd all agree. And one that you don't see come up very often anymore. A Pricey Pack. All three of these are pretty hard to get, as they were only sold to Shop Zone. And the average Joe collector out there probably didn't even know these existed. You guys might be one of those viewers that say, I never knew these packs existed, because they weren't on the retail pegs and didn't get a lot of publicity. I'm not sure what quantities these were made in. That's another thing going on there. So there it is. There's that one. Let's move on to one that I really love here. We've got Undertaker, we've got Triple H. Undertaker, Triple H, no strangers to any Jakks line back in the day. Same with HBK and Stone Cold. I could say the same about that. But very cool to get these two together. And you guys know I've talked about it on the channel. A lot of you think I'm strange. A couple of you guys agree with me. But the Underbiker was always my favorite version of the Undertaker. I go back to my childhood. I remember the Skyscrapers. I remember Mean Mark Callis. I absolutely loved him then. I loved him. Then he came to the WWE as The Undertaker, and the average Joe out there, especially on the old playground we always talk about, a lot of my friends love The Undertaker. They're like, who is this guy? Oh my gosh. They'd never seen him before, but young 8-, 9-year-old Kyle said, but that's Mean Mark Callis. What's he doing? It didn't have the same effect on me, and I think my reasoning for my Undertaker fandom would have been different if I didn't watch WCW. I didn't know who Mean Mark was, and I could have looked at him like my friends did as a new character. So I struggled with that, and that was just a weird, maybe I'm the only one out there that had this issue, but from the day that Survivor Series, everybody was just talking about him on the playground. For me, it was, well, it's just weird. Why is he not Mean Mark? I want him to do the heart punch. Why didn't he do that heart punch? Because that was my first experience ever seeing the heart punch. I thought that was the craziest thing ever. You can punch somebody right in their heart and they die, they lose, they get knocked out. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't fathom it. So that's part of my Undertaker where I just didn't buy into all that stuff, which I would have loved to if it went in a different direction. But when he became a Biker Taker, there was something more realistic for me about that. I enjoyed his work as Biker Taker, and I know I'm in the minority there, but this is one of, if not possibly, I'd have to take a look, and that's good for a top 5, top 10 video one day, but my favorite Jakks figure of The Undertaker. Of all the figures they released via Jakks, I think this is my favorite Undertaker, with the soft goods shirt, the soft, or that's not soft goods, but a bandana on him. I love this version of The Undertaker. Just a solid Undertaker figure. And this Triple H, been rehashed a million times, but a little gold on his trunks to set it off differently. So it truly is a different figure. But a lot of rehash on both of these. Dressing up a traditional Undertaker with some cloth, and bam, you got a new figure. Like all these, a lot of reuse. It's the end of the line. That's the way it goes. But I do like this pack a whole lot. There's old Triple H. There's The Undertaker looking only like they can look. We got the sledgehammer. We got the chair. We're ready to fight here. We're ready to throw down. A lot of people love Triple H as well. A lot of people love Undertaker, so this set does make a lot of sense. Got their names on the side, of course. 2 little glamour shots going on over there. And then you get to the back of the package. There it is. We're promoting Classic Superstar Series 21? 24. I tried. Killer Bees, British Bulldogs. Look how big those sets used to be. Those were the glory days. We got blurbs for the tail of the tape for Triple H and Undertaker up there. Once again, doesn't really give us any War and Peace or anything, just a little bit of a tail for the tape. You got UPCs, warnings, all that fun stuff down below. But a very solid pack, if you ask me. Try me, I'll make you famous, Undertaker's shirt says, which I do love that. Taker, 299 pounds, but I heard if he goes to a buffet in the afternoon, he'll hit that 300 mark. 6'10 and a half. Don't just call him 6'10, he's 6'10 and a half. My dad's the same way. He's 6'8 and a half, and he's the same way. When you get that tall, the halves really do count. Finishing move, tombstone, chokeslam, last ride, Hell's Gate submission move. I loved that too. I'm a big MMA Pancrase fan back in the day, so when he started using some more submission moves, I was eating that up with a fork and a spoon. Triple H, 255 pounds, 6'4". Finishing move, the old pedigree, of course. So Triple H, Undertaker, 2 of, I would say, a lot of people's Mount Rushmore of the WWE. 2 guys that hung around the longest, been in pivotal positions for a long time, multiple-time champions. There's a lot of great superstars to the WWE, but I think these are 2 that most people say just bleed WWE, that you couldn't see them anywhere else, even though they were in WCW for a little bit. But that's kind of the way I think a lot of people view him. Where Ric Flair, he's been all over the place, you know. Hulk Hogan been all over the place, which a lot of people do assume him with just WWE, but I think you know what I'm saying about these 2. All right, we got one more pack left, and I'm going to say it. I'm just going to go out and say it right now. We saved the best for last. Yes, we did. We saved the best for last. And who do we got here? We've got Vader. We've got Kane. This Kane would have been better if he had his mask on. Then we could have said 2 big guys, 2 masks, not so many tattoos here. But I always liked this pack, and this was, I believe, if my memory serves me right again, as far as these WWE shop exclusives, this was the last one ever released. And this was big time saving your money is what this was for Jakks. Now, this Vader, I think, was earmarked to be in a single set somewhere along the line. It got bumped out for other figures. They found a home for it here. This Kane figure was released in the traditional Ruthless Aggression line like 10 times. And I'm not even joking. Like 10, maybe even more than that. They went to the well with this Kane so many times over the years. Getting the most out of your molds, well, they did that for sure. And this was an easy 2-pack to slap together. But 2009, it felt very strange. Obviously, Vader and Kane had some matches, but not quite Kane without his mask. This should have probably been masked Kane, if anything. It just seemed like it was just thrown together. And this was, like I said, the very last, I believe, Classic Superstars release that was ever done by Jakks. So, bit strange, but I guess a way to get 2 figures out there. This Kane didn't really need because he's been released so many times, but at least the Vader is different with the Vader time singlet going on. And then the head face scan face paint on this Vader, the best one. It just beats the other Vader that was in the single card release. And then once again, you do get the Vader Mastodon mask helmet, which I always do appreciate. I do love that. But a very, very strange pack right here. But that Vader got a beautiful head scan on that Vader, if you can kind of see that there. Kane, like I said, not a lot to talk about with this Kane. Just very, very strange putting these 2 together. Classic Superstars. No WWE shop sticker on this one. So it truly was the dying day. They said, we got to save that half a cent on those stickers. We can't be putting it on there. On the side, you get their names, of course. Vader and Kane. Glamour shot. There's that cool Kane, or cool Vader head there going on. I love it. On the back, you got UPCs here. We're not cross-selling anything. There was nothing to cross-sell anymore. This was it. This was the final 2. It's almost fitting. This is the final Jakks Class Superstars release to have that kind of black background there. I mean, it's really ominous. Like, the end of an era. It was really what it was. The end of Kyle's wrestling figure collecting is what this was as well. We've talked about that, and we'll talk about that more in the future, I'm sure. Got glamour shots of both. Got the tails of the tape up top. Let's see what it says about old Vader and old Kane. Let's see. Vader, 450 pounds, 6'5". Vader Bomb. Titles, WCW Champion, United States Champion. Kane, 323 pounds, 7 feet tall. Finishing move, choke slam. Titles, ECW Champion, WWE Champion, Intercontinental Champion, World Tag Champion, WWE Tag Champion, and Hardcore Champion. So there it is, the end of an era with this 2-pack. This was it. This was the final Jakks release. Like I said, all 3 of these were WWE Shop exclusives. I'd be interested to know if you picked any of these up, if you've seen these. Maybe some of you guys, these are all brand new to you. You've never seen these before. Really ones that flew under the radar even back then, and I think even more so now. But I love all 3 of these for different reasons. Very cool packs here. Very cool moments in time. Just think, this could have been the final 2-pack set to Toys R Us. It's funny to think how those things go sometimes, but it is what it is. This is the way we went. We went out with a whimper, as you guys know, with the Class Superstars and all Jakks figures, unfortunately. But put your business hat on. You would probably do the same thing because it is a business at the end of the day. You're not going to put new molds. You're not going to sign new people just for a one-and-done shot and stuff like that. It's just not the way it works. You're going to put out some heavy hitters. You're going to put out very low decor figures, and you're going to move on and try to, how are we going to make that money we're missing from WWE up? And I don't think Jakks ever really came close to ever doing that again. And now all these years later, roundabout way, we got Jazzwares, and history is doomed to repeat itself. I have a feeling if you don't know what's going on, and we're seeing a lot of the telltale signs of Jakks in Jazzwares right now. And we'll cover that continual on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed. But tell me your thoughts on these 3 packs. Did you know they existed? Any thoughts on these? Anything I might have missed? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like this video. You made it that far. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. SirPaul64 on Twitter is where you'll find me. Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. And, of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson for the WWE shop. I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.